Today we're gonna tell you why Veracruz is the best state in Mexico. And we're gonna do that from the Port of Veracruz during the most exciting time of the year, Carnaval.
Wait, isn't Carnaval usually in February, March?
Yes, usually. Ever since the global pandemic, Veracruz has moved their Carnaval to the middle of summer, so this year we get to enjoy two Carnavales. Our first Carnaval experience was in Barranquilla, Colombia, and this year we get to do another bucket list event in the Carnaval of Veracruz.
Okay, Kevin, but tell me this. Other than being biased because your family's from Veracruz, tell me why you think Veracruz is the best state in Mexico.
Don't worry, I'll be answering that question all throughout this video and making sure to save the best reason for last. And since we're just getting our day started, the best way to do that is with a fresh cup of coffee. Let's head to el Gran Cafe de la Parroquia de Veracruz.
We're going to church?
Ha! Very funny. You'll see. When you come to la Parroquia de Veracruz, an unmissable drink is el lechero. El lechero is a Veracruz style latte, and when you want your milk, you have to do this. Yeah, this is the fun part right here. I don't know how they do that without spilling.
Another must try here is the bomba. Most people know this as the concha, but here in Veracruz, the best way to have them is with nata, which is an artisanal dairy cream, and you can see it's already filled in here. It's delicious. The best time to come to Gran Cafe de la Parroquia is in the morning to midday. Usually in that time, they have musical performances and dancing. So today we were lucky to walk in on them dancing La Bamba. The dance that they were performing is actually really special to us. As you may or may not know, Kevin has roots here in Veracruz, and for our wedding, we decided to do that very same dance where the couple ties the knot using only their feet and then successfully shows off to the audience. So that to me is one of my favorite memories from our wedding, and it was just so nice to walk in and see that.
For very good Veracruz style breakfast, we highly recommend los farolitos, and you have to try las gorditas infladas.
The gorditas infladas come in black masa and in white masa, and the black masa is infused with black beans. It's delicious, topped with cream and cheese. And then another personal favorite of ours are the picaditas, las picadas, which look a lot like sopes to me, from being my family's from the central northern part of Mexico, and we just kind of call these sopes. But in Veracruz, they are different, and they're called picadas. And they come in green salsa and red salsa options.
Every time we make it to Veracruz, we make sure to not miss this spot. Trust me, this is unmissable. So many good things have been established and come from Veracruz. It had the first Spanish city of Mexico. It had the first church built in Mexico. And it's the state to have the first liberated town from slavery in all of the Americas.
Cool.
Do you know where the first Carnaval in Mexico was established?
Let me guess, Veracruz.
No, great guess though. It's actually in Mazatlan. But Veracruz has arguably the largest and best Carnaval in all of Mexico. This is the Macro Plaza. From the Macro Plaza, you can see the Port of Veracruz, which is Mexico's oldest, largest, and historically most significant port. When Hernán Cortés arrived in the year 1519, he named the city Villa Rica de la Veracruz, dedicated to the area's gold and in the name of the True Cross because he arrived on a Good Friday. Today, and since then, it's become the principal port for most of Mexico's imports and exports. All right, we're gonna do something real quick, all right? You're gonna grab this 10 peso coin and you're gonna toss it in the water.
Why would I do that? It's money.
Can you please just do it, please? I promise we're not being jerks. This is an iconic activity at the Macro Plaza. Locals like to show off their diving skills by inviting tourists to toss a 10 peso coin into the water, which they fish back out, and of course they keep.
La moneda se la quedé. Se la regalamos. Wow. I can feel it moving. ¿No me pica? ¿Esto no pica? So this is new for me. This is an interesting one. This is a statue dedicated to Spanish immigrants. Immigrants, huh? Interesting.
Sketchy.
And depending on what era we're talking about, right? If we're talking about, 1600s, I wouldn't call them immigrants. If we're talking, after Mexico was established, okay, sure. But what do you guys think about this one?
I mean, these days they're called expats. While you're at the Macro Plaza, make sure to check out the Mercado de Artesanías. You'll find some really cool, fun stuff here, especially some naughty t-shirts around here.
You can get all your souvenirs here, including this La Bamba t-shirt that I got right here, actually.
See, someday when we have kids, my mom's definitely gonna like this one. Across the street, you have La Plaza de Artesanías, which is a great place to buy guayaberas. Check out this beautiful guayabera. I'm getting this one for my dad. Like we mentioned, the guayaberas are culturally from Cuba, originally from Cuba, but these shirts are so beautiful and fresh. Another thing that Veracruz has picked up a lot from Cuba, aside from the coffee, is the cigarros. The Cuban cigars here are quite popular here also in Veracruz, and now Veracruz has produced their own cigars.
So, all that history is nice and all, but it's making me hungry.
Food in Veracruz is the last thing you gotta worry about. ¿Qué tal si vamos unos mariscos?
Let's go, please.
There are countless seafood restaurants along the malecon and Playa Villa del Mar.
Love me a good seafood cocktail. This is Vuelve la Vida because it will literally bring you back to life. This seafood cocktail has shrimp, octopus, and fresh crab. The cocktail juice is made up of the seafood's very own broth and a concoction of like ketchup, tomato juice, and sometimes even like an orange soda. I'm not a huge fan of this part, but I do love the seafood part. So I actually asked for them to bring it for me separately, and I added just a little bit on the side. So you can do that too if you're not big on ketchup. Wow, this looks so good.
Veracruz does fish really, really well. You're about to indulge in this delicious mojarra frita with a nice creamy kind of pesto sauce called enchimpayada. I think the best part about this experience is having the beach right in front, so you get that ocean breeze. Oof, we don't have room for dessert right now, but later we're gonna have a popular dessert here in Veracruz and the Caribbean that's originally from Southeast Asia and brought to Mexico from Africa. Anybody know what it is? Comment down below.
Veracruz sits on the Gulf of Mexico, and while the mainland beaches aren't as pretty as the Caribbean beaches, there is an island just 20 minutes off the coast that makes for a quick excursion. We're heading to Cancuncito, an island named for its beautiful clear waters, like Cancun's.
So while we kind of thought we were going to an island with a beach, turns out it's an island in formation or some sort of sand formation that's under the water, and so we're here. I'm just gonna jump right in.
Cancuncito is a sandbank in the middle of the sea. It was formed in 1988 thanks to Hurricane Gilberto. It costs 300 pesos per person for this tour, and you get to swim and relax in Cancuncito for 90 minutes. We recommend going early in the morning to enjoy the calm and clear waters. El Port of Veracruz is one of the hottest places in all of Mexico, and in order to cool off, you could do a couple of things. You could either take a bunch of showers, or
you can have some ice cream from Güero Güera. The Güero Güera ice cream shops are iconic here in El Puerto, and they're very peculiar for shouting out at you, Güero 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 Güera. Pásale güero 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 güera. La nieve de este lado. And I think the intention, my understanding, is that they're supposed to try to make you feel good looking, which, I don't know, sounds kind of problematic to me. I don't really care to be güero güera, and for anyone who doesn't know, güero güera is to imply white or light complected skin. And because that's considered attractive, by shouting güero güera at you, they're trying to compliment you and get you to come buy their ice cream. So while it's been a thing around here for years, I wonder if people think about how kind of messed up that is. So they're shouting at us, güero, güero, güera, and I'm just like, I'm not güera. I mean, I know I'm lighter skinned, but I don't know. It's weird.
¿Cuál es el principal? ¿Son todos lo mismo, ah?
No, claro que no, güero. Este es el güero güero, las nieves tradicionales del puerto de Veracruz. Aquí estamos desde 1967, güero. ¡Dale, güero, 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 güero!
And last but not least, before we leave Veracruz, you have to try a bolovan de jaiba.
Well, they have lots of flavors. They have pineapple, ham and cheese, chorizo, but the jaiba, the crab, is the iconic filling around here. The bolovan is basically a stuffed pastry, but it's not dessert.
Bolovanes sabrosos, bolovanes, están calientes los bolovanes, de jamón, de jaiba, de piña, choriqueso, bolovanes, uno de jaibita.
¿Y si tiene jaiba, no?
Sí, tiene jaibita, son los secos.
Yeah, see if there's really crab in here. Mm. Oh yeah, there is.
Sabroso bolovanes. Callo, callo.
Amazing.
De jamón, de jaiba, de piña.
The Carnaval de Veracruz this year was held from June 29th to July 5th. with parades and concerts all over the city. Veracruz is known for having one of the biggest carnival celebrations in Mexico, and people show up to the parade ready to show off their love and pride for Veracruz.
Veracruz locals are called Jarochos, and Jarochos are known to be lively and passionate people and colorful in their language.
Veracruz una bulla. Ya se cansaron. ¿Quién se queda hasta las 10 de la mañana del otro día?
They're proud of their coastal culture and life by the sea. As you can tell, most of the floats were sea-themed or sailor-themed. Unlike most of Mexico, salsa music and dancing are very important to Jarochos. It's worth noting that Veracruz's culture wouldn't be what it is today without the influences from Africa, like this whale named bamba, a word of African origin meaning party or celebration.
We mentioned earlier that there's a very special treat common in Veracruz that came to Mexico from Africa, but is originally from Southeast Asia, and that is the sweet plantain. Los platanitos maduros are topped with cream and cheese here in Veracruz, and they're an absolute favorite for just about everybody around here. And it's one of those foods that represents the cultural mixing in Veracruz. So not only is it a really cool thing to try while you're here, it's super delicious. It's a great thing to have after breakfast, after lunch, or really, honestly, any time of the day.
Veracruz has a blend of cultures, mostly from the indigenous, Spanish, and Afro-Caribbean, and you can see the influence of these three mostly in its food and music.
And that, my friends, is what makes Veracruz the best state in Mexico. Its food, its music, its people, its history, its landscape and seascape. I hope you have the pleasure of sweating in the Port of Veracruz someday soon. Se bañan.